in live stream business, a lot of people put just the audio on.
Right.
Some of the people that come, they just listen to me rap it on
Yeah.
rather than watch, which is fine. I don't mind. But
We
people
are
just get
live, apparently.
no. We're not. Are we? Huh?
It says
Oh,
live
are
on
we
my
live?
end.
Are we live?
Hello. I should probably open Twitch on my phone.
I am trying to open Twitch on my phone at this point.
Yep.
You think we'd be
It's
better
live.
prepared?
Yeah, we're on. Hello.
Hi. So this is Mari Still Plays, and oh yeah, we are live and created status
How
soon
much
to
of
be
that ranting have you heard? Hi.
encyclopedia. Hello.
Hello. My voice is already half gone because I've been like uh jabbering into Mary's ear about random stuff. So
All sorts of random stuff.
what
But
is
yes,
what is it like to be the person that has to hear the other person running off with ideas of how to do things, Mary?
are you asking me seriously?
Maybe.
Well, okay. So I'm gonna load this noise on my end. Noise.
Yeah, you're like
So
you're the music needs to be a hair softer. Or you need to be a hair louder.
okay, can you hear me?
Barely? Like you
Uh,
and the music are the same volume.
okay. So let me sort that out. While we're sorting that out, do you want to tell people what we were talking about? Don't have to give them details if you don't want to.
The long story short is that Melbourne Fringe registrations are open.
Hmm.
And we were trying to figure out a thing that Mari could do for Melbourne Fringe. And I got very into grant assessor mode.
Which is useful, but at one point I was like, oh, maybe my idea is shit.
Your idea is not shit. It just needs a bit of polish.
Yeah,
Look,
that's
there's
fine. I'm
also
not
like
gonna come up with something like fantastic straight away.
no, but you have a little while. Also, it's Fringe, right? Who's looking for quality at that point? When I did Queer Lady Magician, my first Fringe show, literally the only thing I had at that point was that we're doing a queer stage magic show. Whatever it is, I haven't figured out yet, but I'll get to you.
Yeah.
But it was, I could say like, oh, I told my backstory of stage magic, and that was what got Woman Circus interested. So
Yep.
like, you got an interest, yeah, give a different perspective on stuff. Then from there, after the Woman Circus said yes, then I had the panic attack for 2 weeks, and I was like, you know what? I'll make a show about my panic attack. Essentially, that's what happened. I've not done a magic show in 100 years. I will fail. I've never done a Fringe show before. Let's do a show about how I'm gonna fail at making a Fringe show.
So is it better now, the sound?
Yep, yep.
Yep. Okay. Right. So
Wait,
yeah,
can I hear myself too? No,
I
I'm
can
good.
hear. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I can hear you, so I think it's fine. So yeah, welcome back to Phoenix Wright ACNHFRINGE. We start playing in a minute, but yeah, I have this idea. And it's a very small germ of an idea, and I'm not a performer as well. That's the other
Yeah.
yeah. And so when they're thinking of like, oh, what's gonna work? They're thinking razzle dazzle and everything, right?
Not necessarily razzle dazzle, but just what is the visual performer part of it gonna be like?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and I am very much in writer mode.
Which I think could be interesting, people
Yeah.
watching you struggle.
Yes, and I'm quite open for people to do that. I don't mind being honest about what's going on. It's just trying to work.
You lean into it so hard, you sort of fall off and stumble and come back out on the other side. A commentary on how everyone has had to live stream because of COVID to get by and what that does to a person. And so if you fail or if it doesn't work, people will just think it's part of the act.
I don't want people to be confused about what is real, what isn't.
No, here's the thing, right? As I found doing stage magic in particular,
Yep.
not only stage magic, but in particularly stage magic,
Uh-huh.
people will manipulate their own bloody brain to believe whatever. Like, we had our first run of the show, our third night in, everything kind of went wrong.
Yeah.
We had props that weren't there where they need to be, like some tricks didn't quite work. It was a little bit of a chaotic disaster, right? But because the show's framing was, oh my God, I've not done a show in a while, what if I fail? A whole bunch of audience members thought that was kind of part of the show.
Well, you know what? Other writers have said.
Hey, Rana.
Hey, Rana! Woo!
Anyway, go on.
Right, so Rana, we're talking about potential Fringe Festival show ideas. It's exciting, right? So I just had a thought. Like, I think was it John Green or some like other writers basically have said something similar, not in these exact words. Excuse me, please. I'm having some chocolate. Where they say writing basically is a spectator sport, and like, shall we prove them wrong?
Yeah, that could be a prompt.
I don't know. I guess maybe that could be like the first line of like what this show is about.
Could be. Yeah, what if writing is a spectator sport? What is that like?
Yeah.
Maybe you do kind of try to do the performer thing for a few days and you go, I'm tired.
I'm tired, but just writing now, okay?
Yeah, you just sort of like get rid of the shenanigans.
So, we're gonna play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We're trying to play things as fast as possible, but we'll skip longer cases, etc. Yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Because in July, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles comes out. We haven't decided how we're gonna play it and who's gonna buy it or whatever.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out.
We're skipping the longer cases and we're trying to play it through because we both like this game, and Tiara's played everything on the face of the planet, and he's the encyclopedia. If you haven't seen the other parts,
we don't.
Yeah, you on YouTube, go watch them. They're interesting.
Yeah, we should try to work out if I should get it on a PlayStation. In which case the trick is Marisa doesn't have a PlayStation, so I'll have to get it through my computer on OBS somehow. But how do I get you to see it is the question. And I tried asking around, and people were like, "Oh well, if you're a celebrity, you can stream it on Twitch." And I'm like, "Not to be a celebrity. I don't have a question of streaming on Twitch. I just want my friend to be able to see what's going on."
Yeah.
Because right now we're playing through Mari's computer on Steam, and it's being shown to me via Zoom. So Zoom, you can easily do screen share. But if I try to screen,
the easiest bloody way to do it, and I don't know why we didn't do this from the beginning, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like seriously, Zoom has saved our data. Like it's just what? Why? Yeah.
And maybe we just have it so it's on your computer again.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Which means I think I'm just gonna have to like pay for it myself and I'll get this damn gaming computer because like I want to play The Sims live stream. I can't because stupid.
Well, they've added new stuff to The Sims 4.
Oh my God, we can talk about The Sims 4. There's a summer of Sims happening. There's like 6 different things that are coming out. They've got patches coming out. Patch came. We got likes and dislikes in The Sims now. You can choose between. You can choose up to 20 likes and dislikes, any combination thereof of colors, genres, etc. And your Sims get emotions when they're doing one or the other.
Ooh.
That's all. I still haven't fully explored that yet. That's a recent thing. They've updated some skins and some hairs, but they have some other stuff to update. Updated the bug bits finally because they came out and they were broken. Then they came. You know, ACNHFRINGE in The Sims 4.
Okay.
That world is one of the base game worlds, and it has this sort of Spanish vibe aesthetic.
Yep.
And they've had some Moroccan, African, blue and white themed stuff.
Yeah.
But they haven't done much of it, and it's all over the place, and you couldn't do much with it in building, and they never came out with anything to coordinate with that you could make a whole house like that. I've been dying to make like a courtyard kind of house like that in The Sims 4 for ages. They just came out with a courtyard Oasis kit, which is fully Moroccan themed, blue and white everywhere. And it's beautiful, like pools and all the furniture and everything that's coordinated with it. It's amazing. And I'm so tired of like Willow Creek base game comes with like all the stuff that looks like it's from southern Louisiana's black swamps kind of thing, which is fine. That's fine. Then you get a lot of mid-century modern stuff that comes over with all the packs and like gritty. City Living came up with some their version of grittiness, etc. Suburban kind of stuff, and then old-fashioned Windenburg and get together came out with what they thought was like Tudor, Wittenberg, like old-fashioned European city stuff.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a lot of other stuff, other non-Westernish kind of architecture, except for what's it called, Island Living, and Sulani has like Polynesian themed stuff, and then the kind of East Asian vibe, Japanese vibe with Snowy Escape that just came out. So except for those, there hasn't been much non-Western stuff. So it's nice to see something that's non-Western in the game. Hallelujah! Oh my god.
There you go.
So there's that, and now they're getting an interior decorating career, so you get to go around to other cities.
Yeah. I think you told me that. Yeah.
Make over the thing. So that's game pack. Expansion pack, nobody knows this. It's charming. So make of that what you will. People have been asking for farms for a long time.
Ooh.
Yeah, farming. But we might not get farming. We might get something else. I don't know. Like I think possibly fairies. I think that will be interesting.
There we go. All right.
Right, so we're trying to save Edgeworth. Edgeworth is a prostitute, and our childhood best friend. Also, possibly other things.
So we have managed to acquit Edgeworth of the original murder, but he's now trying to confess to a crime that he supposedly did before, and he's showing emotions for the first time in his goddamn life. Or it's the first time in a long while.
Tiara had this theory before we started. If you saw my Instagram post, the Tiara's theory is that Tiara is Phoenix and I'm Edgeworth. Now, aside from the potential romantic implications of this,
I didn't even think about that, but well.
Sure. Right?
Wow, I honestly.
Are you suggesting that I'm a robot who has no emotions? Like, thank you very much, Jesus.
You're very. So the prompt for this conversation was that someone on Twitter had shared pictures of. I've been mentioning this in every damn stream, and now I finally got to show Mary this, of like the two child actors that play Phoenix and Edgeworth in the live action Ace movie. So I sent them to Mary, and they were like, "All right, which one of us is which?" And I said, the entire time we've been streaming, I've been predicting Phoenix's words before Phoenix actually says them. So I feel like between the two of us, I'm probably more Phoenix. And also because Phoenix is like the art student who became a lawyer for sentimental reasons. And I am the performance art person that took up accounting on a dare from my dad. So...
Well, I don't know. Like, see, I didn't even know how did we get to the point where we were trying to choose who was who? Like,
I think you just brought it up.
No, I didn't.
You were asking like, oh, does it mean I have to choose if I'm Edgeworth or Phoenix? And I was like, if that's the question, then I'm clearly Phoenix because I'm predicting him.
How did I was just laughing my head off because the reason
You had that question.
I saw the pictures and I laughed my head off because straight away I went Draco and Harry.
Right, yes.
And then you went, oh, do you mean Edgeworth is you? And I was like, wait a minute.
No, you brought that up. I thought it was funny. We were trying to figure out who Maya would be. And Maya, we basically went, is a Weasley of some kind.
No, okay, so Maya is this person right here on screen for those who don't know. Rana is like, I forgot that he was literally an art student.
Yeah, it just brought up in like one case in the third series, like when you meet like in the timeline is like when Phoenix first becomes part of the story. But yeah, it's a throwaway line.
Who's Larry?
Larry. Oh God, who is Larry in like?
Maybe Larry is wrong. Right? So
I think like they're trying to make Larry a Ron. But given how much shit he flags, I think he's Neville. He's like Neville, but too much confidence and unearned confidence. As in, he's like the butt of the joke is what Neville. But Neville like grows into his own. Whereas Larry could be. No, not Goyle. Nah, he's not in league with the bad guys. He's like a friend of the main characters, but just like not the most useful person to have around.
I mean,
No, actually, he's totally Neville. He's totally Neville because people do not give him enough credit. The problem is he gets flanderized.
But he saves the day. Yeah.
He saves the day. Neville saves the day. He's totally Neville, except he's just like if Neville tried to overcompensate for insecurity by being confident.
Nobody else understand this. I don't understand.
He's totally Neville. He's Neville who overcompensates with confidence.
Right, so
Also, why is Larry here?
he was just informed.
He came in last minute with a witness testimony that was actually useful, and even though people give him shit for being a chaos agent, him being a chaos agent is exactly what they needed because prosecutor von Karma
I mean,
is too controlled for his own good.
Take the compliment.
What?
It sounds like
You're a bit soft still, Mari. I can barely hear you over the music.
I was saying.
Oh, that's a little better. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, I'll take Draco. Like, that's a compliment because if
Draco's a racist.
Up to a point, but he's also like a boy in circumstances forced upon him. So, and terrified for his life and that of his mother.
I went to see Cursed Child in London when
I've
first
not
started.
seen Cursed Child, so this is like my interpretation of Draco without the Cursed Child add-on or any of the other books.
He does. Like all the adults kind of like shift. I think Ron is the only one who doesn't really have much of a character development in Cursed Child, which is weird. But there's one point in the story where they go back to Godric's Hollow for spoiler reasons, major spoiler reasons. And Draco makes a comment about like, oh, this place has seemed really updated since last time. It's been so long. And I, in my seat up in whatever London fancy hall I was in, up in the rafters, I just went, it's called gentrification. And everyone around me started cracking up.
I think there was potential for character development for Draco, and it was.
Yeah, he does. He does get a lot of drag, mostly because of his son. Like it's all the children, and like his son is a cinnamon roll. Scorpio is such a cinnamon roll, and it's like, how are you Draco's kid? But he's a sweetie. A friend of mine plays Scorpio in like the current production. But it's so hard because J.K. Rowling is an asshole.
Yes, true. But I guess
it's like
this is what my point is. Even without Cursed Child, right? Like I feel there were moments that could have been. You see him trying to make good decisions.
Yeah.
And good choices. So he's not completely lost. Is kind of the point, which I think is a good thing to learn about people as they get.
Yeah.
But I don't think they ever did it any good. They never took it far,
Yeah, that's the thing with the Harry Potter series. There's like a lot of like lost potential, and then J.K. Rowling is an asshole.
Yes,
which is the most lost potential of them all. Like it's so interesting, right? Like this year they're coming out with like our Harry Potter RPG. HBO has announced a mini series, and I'm just like, if this was all came out 5 years ago, people would be all over it. This is stuff people were asking for 5 years ago. J.K. Rowling had to go and open her bloody mouth and ruined it for everyone.
I think there's still gonna be people who go regardless, right? Like,
oh yeah, totally. Like it's but the amount of goodwill that has just like left.
Yeah, I mean, because I constantly see all these ads for like mobile phone games, app games, and stuff, and that have all variations of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how many games there are now, but there are so many that are like obviously official games. So maybe there's about 3.
Right. Yeah. I know there's one that's basically Pokemon Go but Harry Potter.
Yes.
There's one that's kind of a
I've played that one before.
RPG. Not the one that's come out recently, but like sort of a different one. I don't know about the third.
There's one where you go to actual Hogwarts.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's one where you like walk around and you. Yeah, it's post Harry Potter's older and you're helping him and you've.
I don't know that one.
No, it's the one that Pokemon type one. The one
there's 2 games. Anyway, J.K. Rowling, why are you an asshole? You ruined it for it. I traveled across the world for you. I got headshots at an acting agent specifically because I wanted to play the one major spoiler character in Cursed Child.
And
Well, I did not get the role, obviously. But given what has happened since, I dodged the bullet. Although it would be like very funny if I like got the role. Sorry?
Continue your story, but we're getting flashback time.
Ooh, flashback time. All right. Miles Edward wanted to be a defense attorney.
No. Like, I'm saying, what was your story? And then
my story was if I did get this dream role in Cursed Child, it would have been incredibly hilarious for a very queer, non-binary person to be in Cursed Child. I mean, the friend of mine who plays Scorpio is trans. So they're also non-binary. So, it was sort of like when all of that went down, I like tried to check in, like, oh, I do, okay, didn't hear back. But, it'll be like, two non-binary people in Cursed Child. Would I have to quit, or would we all be like, as a cast, fuck you, JKR? Anyway, flashback time. He wanted to be a defense.
They saved me.
Oh yeah, today's photos is gonna be relevant because you get to see like the picture version, I think, of like the photos I sent you. They saved you. This is also why I also feel like I'm more a Phoenix than an Edgeworth, is because I'm also this level of ridiculously sentimental.
Do we have time to be going into this now?
This is important. At this class trial, there's a fun fact about this class trial that I will tell you after we do the class trial. Well, I can tell you now, which is this is based on a true story. True story that Shu Takumi, the writer, went through. The kids and who have disappeared. The music is so good. That whole, can you imagine? There you go, there's Kid Phoenix. This bit's very cute. Relay race library committee. Was he a librarian? Oh, baby. Babs. Haha, guess who this is?
Wow, I wonder.
Amateurs. Baby Edgeworth!
Oh, it was Edgeworth's money?
Yeah, it was Edgeworth's money, but Edgeworth stood up for him. No one has any proof. Oh, who's his third one? Baby Larry. He didn't do it. Well, I mean, that doesn't really fly in court now. But yeah, this very thing happened to Shu Takumi, writer of Ace Attorney.
Did they ever figure out who had stolen it?
They do eventually. The same time we do.
It's
I
Larry,
forgot.
isn't it? It's
I can neither confirm or deny that statement.
Yeah, I think I remember it being Larry.
Otherwise, it means to be alone. Oh, but you had like 2 friends. That's so sweet. See, Larry's a good guy. He gets badly characterized later, but he's a good guy. It's not this well this leaderboard. Right. Father's defense attorney. Oh, he's so proud of his dad.
See, this is just Draco energy.
Does Draco adore? Like Draco's always like, I will tell my dad about this, but did he really like his dad, or was he afraid of him?
I think he loved his dad as a kid would love a father, and then also was afraid of him. Both things can exist.
Because I think his
I think-
mom was like much more. I prioritize my son over Voldemort. Like his mom was like,
yeah, definitely. But I think like this is Draco energy if he had a good family.
oh, potentially.
Like this is probably what he would be doing, and this is probably what he wanted to kind of be embodied. Probably saw himself as, and didn't quite realize he wasn't living up to it.
Maybe.
And I do feel sorry for Draco. Comes hard done by.
Oh.
No kid should have to go through that, frankly. Like, what is the murderer under your roof and holding a
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it would scar anyone. Also, everyone in the Harry Potter verse is traumatized. Right?
I think, and this is a question people have asked as well, like why is it in all these kind of young adult books there's so much responsibility heaped on the shoulders of like teenagers and younger when it's an adult created problem?
Yeah, I think I remember this discussion playing out a few times, and I think part of it is because the reason the protagonists are teenagers is that the teenagers who are reading it, that's like their one example of agency. You know, like in the real world, they don't have a lot of control. They don't have like a lot of ability to make a difference. But they're reading a book about someone who is like them, who is making an incredible difference. And so it's kind of, it's a fantasy fulfillment for them. Yeah, the adults are causing problems. The adults are also causing problems in their real life, you know, school, parents, authority figures. But YA protagonists, they fight back. They fight back in a way that real life teenagers might not really be able to. So I think that, but yeah, you could read it again as an adult and you're like, these are children.
Yeah.
But when you're that age, you don't think of them as like, oh, you're children like me. You think, oh, you know, they're cool grown-ups, you know.
I think that does change you as a writer when you have that realization, because you're just like, I can't necessarily put characters through that. You know, they have to be a lot older if I want to put them through stuff. But
yeah,
because I don't want anyone to feel that like they can only have agency when they have to go solve an adult's problem, and the adult doesn't have it. And the adult gets to wash their hands of all responsibility for what they have done and just shove a kid in front.
yeah.
You know, like it gives it. I don't want to, and that's pretty much Harry Potter in a nutshell in 7 books. Is that's what it is.
Harry, oh yeah, totally that. Harry was manipulated by Dumbledore the whole time. He was Dumbledore's object to fix this war. He was never allowed to be a kid. And I know a lot of people malign the 5th book, but the 5th was actually one of my favorites because it's so real. He is hurt. He is angry. He is hurt. He's lashing out. He's like, I never got a childhood because of you assholes. I don't want to keep doing this. And people are like, oh, he's a brat. He's 15. He's a traumatized 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Being asked, and you know, like one of his biggest mentors dies later in that book. Like he's like just about done at that point.
It's interesting because like Dumbledore doesn't intervene to like prevent Sirius going to jail or anything, right? So like
no.
Harry is stripped of all other adult, actual related adults, so would be there for him if they were around in his life, except for Lupin. by the actual Lupins, like what in the school or something. But beyond that,
Yeah, Remus Lupin's like him and Hagrid.
yeah.
And McGonagall to some degree. But yeah, like
But like Hagrid, McGonagall, and the Weasleys, like they were not part. They didn't know James and Lily.
no.
So
Well, the Weasleys did. Like McGonagall, I could talk to them.
yeah, but like it wasn't that group.
Yeah, they weren't best friends in the same way.
Yeah, and they would have been anyway. That group anyway would have been in his life and things. So, I feel like I don't want kids to normalize that situation either. You can only have agency if you take over from the adults.
Yeah, and I guess like a lot of YA it's I don't know if it's normalization or is it like a reflection of reality, which is as adults have caused a lot of problem for Gen Z.
And
like climate change, like
yeah.
Greta Thunberg's whole thing is like, like the whole march, the students marching is basically.
But we also talked about this, and I think we talked about it at Continuum, which is, by the way, where Tiara and I first met in person.
In person, like we knew each other online.
Yeah, but Tiara and I, we were on panels at Continuum, and
which is like a small scale indie, like
indie
fantasy con, sci-fi con,
sci-fi con.
Really cool place.
Yeah, and we were on panels, and we were talking about this on a particular panel about why you want diversity in your characters, and we were saying, like, one guy thought it was he was okay for him to stand up from the audience and said no one wants to write about older women as protagonists. And I was like, why the fuck not? You can learn a lot from older women, and even no matter what age you are, you could probably relate to them.
Oh my god, that reminds me of a different panel. I
wasn't if you were in that room at that point, but because like everyone was bitching about that guy.
No, I'm remembering a different panel. I was not on this panel, but I was in like the discussion when it happened. A former friend was on that panel. Won't go. He's not important to this story. But it was Shannon Maguire was like their like keynote guest person that year. So it was a panel she was on. Shannon Maguire is like fantasy YA writer who's really cool. And the thing was about portal fantasies, and how a portal fantasy is structured, like the whole the tropes of it media. And I, being a troll, I asked, so if if the definition of a portal fantasy is that it's a story where a person goes through a wholly different world and has an experience there that changes them and then comes back to their own reality, but it's changed somehow. Is Eat, Pray, Love a portal fantasy? And everyone in the room rioted.
What do you mean rioted?
Do you not know Eat, Pray, Love?
No, I know Eat, Pray, Love. Like, oh my god. Like,
I was like, does Eat, Pray, Love count as a portal fantasy? And the whole room just went wild. They're like, no. I was like, but it's true though. No, but yes, but no. Because it is older white woman goes to random third world countries because they are very different to her and has magical experiences and then comes back changed. Portal fantasy. It's just that's where your older white woman protagonists are. Yeah, you just find travelogues.
Oh my god, what is that well-known anime where the two best friends get sucked into a world and one is like a savior with 7 warriors around her and the other one becomes the antagonist because they get assaulted soon after they get there?
I do not know that story, no.
That's an old anime. Like, somebody will remember.
I'm gonna Google that. Anime best friends portal fantasy. My typing is atrocious. Google corrected portal to pet fantasy. It's like, no, very different thing. Google. Gregory Edgeworth died and he was my age.
Okay, are you gonna worry about that now? I think we need to go move and talk to people.
It's so weird because he already had a child who was like 9. I still feel like a child.
I think he always
um
do. Adulthood is a lie.
I think, is it Wall Break Aria of Curse you're thinking of?
No, it's an old one from the 90s. Oh, it's like something like Seven Cyan, something, something. If somebody says the name to me,
Well,
like,
because it, like everything else aside from the two best friends are sucked into it, that it fits your plot line.
no, 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 no. It's Why do I think it's Fushigi Yugi? No.
I'm gonna Google this. What is Edgeworth's about?
Yes, it is Fushigi Yugi.
Fushigi Yugi. Okay, there you
Oh
go.
my god, the mysterious player, curious player. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shoujo manga series, right? So Yu Watase. So Miyaka and Yui get pulled in. Oh my god.
Are you reading the Wikipedia article
Okay, okay,
also?
okay, okay. Right, Universe of the Four Gods. It's they get pulled into a book, right? So
Uh-huh.
portal, right? And then spoilers. So I believe Miyaka becomes she's in this world, she is seen as like a goddess and a prophecy fulfiller or something. And so she's surrounded by 7 warriors who help her in her quest for whatever it is. I don't know because I never watched the thing fully, right? I just know the general gist of the story. And then she's trying to find her best friend in the midst of doing whatever they're trying to
Yeah.
like do in this fantasy world or whatever, right? Her best friend, however, gets pulled into a different part of the world and gets assaulted, and there's this whole like trauma and everything, and they start blaming Miyaka,
Right.
and eventually you find out that they've been set up as the antagonist. And so it's this about this destruction of a friendship, because like all the while best friend has been searching for other best friend, and meanwhile other best friend is trying to destroy the first best friend,
Oh
right?
dear. Right.
Because everything's gone horribly wrong, and for whatever reason it's very logical. I can't remember, but it's very logical that we would, on the basis of the information that they have, blame Miyaka for everything. So the whole thing is a fucking mess, by the way, and it's sad as fuck when you get to that point, right? Because like otherwise the rest of it is quite, except for when you see what's happening with Yui, because you're showing bits at a time, I think,
Yeah.
back and forth. All right, you're not sure what the hell is going on. So as far as I remember, you switch back and forth, and you're shown bits and parts of the story, whatever. But it, yeah. And people say, "Oh, shoujo manga," and like there's obviously love storyline, like, "Oh, which boy will she choose, and will she leave them behind when she leaves the portal?" Blah blah blah, all of that. Come back a changed person, etc.
Rada, feel old yet? This is how old Gregory Edgeworth was when he died.
This was what?
No, Rada on chat. Feel
Yeah.
old yet? This is how old Gregory Edgeworth was when he died. No, that doesn't make me feel old. It makes me feel too young, like underaccomplished.
Underaccomplished. So yeah, it I never watched the full thing when it was on, and never read the full thing, but I remember it existing, so it would fit your thing. The other one that would fit would be Inuyasha, because Kagame goes back and forth. She's
Yeah,
the
but
swings to the
the
well and
point
out.
the point I was trying to make was not what counts as a portal fantasy, because those are very conventional portal fantasies. The point I was trying to make is that no one would think of Eat, Pray, Love as anything in the
Portal
fantasy
fantasy.
genre.
Yeah.
Or like travelogues would have portal fantasies, but they're essentially the same idea.
But maybe they are, because like what they're doing is they're not writing about what is realistic. They're writing about their view of something. So
Oh yeah, totally. So that's why people were like, "Oh my god," because this is a bunch of sci-fi, YA, fantasy writers. They would never they would never write something like Eat, Pray, Love, and they're like, "No, it's the same story." Ah, haven't yet accomplished given Bon Karma a penalty. Oh, that is some deep spoilers for late game. It's some deep late game, early game. It happens in the past, but it happens in the future game. That's some deep spoilers.
Wait, what? Okay, like don't spoil things for me, Rana. Like I'm confused now, Rana. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Don't
I know
ignore.
we're jabbering and we're going really slow. We haven't even done much, and it's like, oh my good lord, we've jabbered like non-stop for. Not done
Oh yeah, we're back in lockdown. Which is
Oh
what
yes.
how we
Hi.
started doing these streams. Was we were in lockdown and I was out of my head. And it's like a way to connect where we became closer friends because of this game and lockdowns and stuff. But now we're on like the second lockdown of 2021. And I was telling Mari, I have run out of fucks to give. Like I went through all my trauma and all my heartache last year, and now I'm just like whatever, man.
I'm just, I think, too exhausted to have fucks to give to.
And we're having this jabber thing while Edward is giving us a real heart to heart, and we're completely ignoring him. Or they were asking him why is he not a defense attorney, and it's like my dad was killed, and you want me to defend criminals? What the fuck? Oh, it was a shooter. He had to be the shooter, but he was found innocent. Does he think he did it? You know, sound mind. Oh, like really some kind of insanity.
Yeah, because of oxygen deprivation.
That's an my mind. I sort of hate defense attorneys. Ah. Kill my father, prepare to die. My teacher demanded man's respect. He's a perfectionist. He doesn't do things perfectly. He's trying to bend the rules to make it work for his. Like,
but you know, people closest to the abuser don't really recognize the abuser. So, right?
Yeah, but I mean, more like, is it really perfectionism when it's more like you try to have the rules changed to suit you? Like perfectionism means you will still work within the rules. You just try to follow them as best as you can. This is like he tries to make the rules bend in his favor, so he doesn't have to do anything. That's his job to find something.
When you think of it like that, there's a defendant on the stand that maybe doing your job perfectly is to get the guilty plea. There's a different definition of perfect when you're doing it to find the actual.
Yeah, but still, he's not doing it perfectly. Then he's doing it in the way that suits his methods. It's like I define what perfect is. Your weakness appear to make go away. What you're saying to is you're headed for a guilty sentence. Is it like okay? Right now, in the point in this game, he talks about Von Karma being his teacher.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out this one fact about him and Von Karma, whether that's actually fact or whether that's a thing you only see in the anime, which is that. Oh, I don't know if I should say it now, but because it's like it's really big spoilers. I also don't know if it's spoilers for this or the anime. Which is
like, what are you trying to do? Are you like Nikki noticed you?
well, more like I was like, I have a question about whether this one particular fact I'm dancing around gets mentioned here at all. Because if I mention it here now, it reveals a huge spoiler about this case. Right. The thing when you don't know when things are revealed in the story. Yeah, Rana is also like, oh, you've got a spammer on your chat.
No, that's okay. They can come and go.
They want to sell you followers.
Bring me followers and prove that you have followers first, and then I might consider giving you money. Like I need to see a demonstration of the product or service, please.
statute of limitations run out tomorrow. Ah, Edward. That DL6 file is the only time an entire date is revealed in the whole of the Ace Attorney series. So everyone's timeline is based on that one date. Don't dredge up his dad being dead. Have you asked him everything?
Yes.
Can you imagine if it was like he actually had to carry all of this on his person, so he's presenting the parrot who's been on his shoulder the whole time?
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about this parrot? It was like, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, wait, back. Oh, wait, I can't do it. I can't talk about the different people to him unless they come up, right? So.
Different people.
Okay. I think we need to go to Broberg and questions, maybe. Oh, yep. Okay, here we go.
There you go. G-Berg. He's still not here. Oh, nothing to examine here.
No, we've seen it all, I think.
Yep. Human affairs. Gumshoe isn't here yet.
Oh dear.
Oh no! What did he do to Gumshoe? Some guy he had to arrest. Oh, the workshop owner. There's Gumshoe's music, but not Gumshoe. Remember those old style computers of 2016? The world ended yesterday. Okay. Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Totally.
All right, it's Gumshoe here. Yes. Hello. The one good cop.
Gumshoe is Hagrid.
Oh, Gumshoe is totally Hagrid. Totally Hagrid. You gotta make a promise. It's controlled in my custody, but is it like a trope for like the big guy to be like the big, slightly idiotic softie? Oh, what happened at the camp? Got pretty mad. Oh, we can't go in. Laura's in a lot of trouble. Laura is in a lot of trouble.
Okay, let's go then.
Oh, the steel eyesore. Hot dog stand. Oh, Larry cares for Edgy. That's very nice of him. Imagine an AU where instead of Phoenix, your play is Larry that decides to be the lawyer.
Don't give Nintendo ideas. I don't know how I would.
Nintendo doesn't do AUs. Nintendo does not like AUs. They will sue you.
But what if in the future Larry does decide to retrain and become a lawyer? Could do that.
Well, that's a Capcom thing, not a Nintendo thing.
Oh, sorry. Whoever. I don't know. I'm not well versed with who's doing what.
I mean, given Larry is an artist, let's flip it around. Larry's the one who's I'm sure there's like 100 pieces of fan fiction about this.
About what? Larry being a lawyer? Then
Larry being a lawyer, like, because it's fanfic.
And then choosing to be an artist instead, maybe.
Larry Butt's AU. Fanfic. Oh, what's happening? Oh, finally, this fellow.
Trying to find him for ages. Maybe he's Dumbledore.
There's a bunch of like very Finnish fan fiction about Larry, as in from
Are
Finland.
you looking for fan fiction now?
I'm trying to see if someone's made an AU fanfic where Larry's a lawyer. Yes. Like there's a bunch of like where Miles and Phoenix swap roles, but and of course a lot of porn as you do.
No, not really. I think someone's hiding him.
What was it? Oh, a few policemen in there. So they can't get into the boat rental?
I think they can. I just haven't checked the movie. Yep, they can go. Go talk to Polly.
There's Paul. Ah, yes. One of the which I thought was gonna happen last week, but I thought it's happening this week. Possibly. No, it happens next week because we're doing investigation and trial. Hello.
Squawk. Squawk.
We need to talk to the parrot. You have things to ask the parrot.
I know, but I'm looking at stuff. Always look in the vegetable basket.
Oh, she found something. Did it? No, you didn't find. Is it like the one game where the waste basket never actually leads to anything?
I'm getting very annoyed because like, oh, safe. Oh, the safe number. What was the safe number? Oh my god, I forgot about the safe number.
Yeah, so if you don't have to memorize it, you just need to know who to ask.
Guess why it's 12:28.
There's no name or signature. Handwritten process here. Oh, a letter.
Get your revenge on Miles.
Dun dun dun. I can imagine the two men who ruined your life. Dun dun dun. The murder plot in detail. I think you'll have a signature. Ah.
Do we have to show it to anyone? Okay. Why is this? Okay.
So in my search for fan fiction where Larry is a lawyer, there is fan fiction for a particular third case defendant as lawyer, which is a very specific AU. So we found the smoking gun letter.
I I think we need to go to.
Ah, there is one. Turnabout butts.
Oh my god.
In the legal hellscape known as Japanifornia, Larry Butts will need all the luck he can get to get his not guilty verdicts, also known as how not to be an attorney.
Where do we go? Do we go to detention center? I thought we were gonna go see Grossberg.
Because I think you have to go to the office to get to Grossberg. Like it's not super direct. You know, to go roundabout. Oh, showing it to Edgeworth. Aha, the letter. Yep. I don't remember that. Oh man. Someone else behind it. Edward needs a hug. Last chance. Wait, maybe. Limitations. Yogi. He figured it out. He figured out who the man is.
Yay.
Can you talk to him?
Yeah,
Yogi.
Okay. Hold on a second, adjusting my microphone.
Yep. Having to be in the elevator together.
That was the quake. I was wondering what it was.
Yep.
Rana's like, oh wow.
Yeah, I think Rana went oh wow at me talking about the Larry lawyer.
Oh, right.
Possibly. I don't know, Rana. You can explain in the chat. This is like the most important bit of the story, and we're not really commenting on it.
No, but. We kind of had like it's very strange because at certain points in the game, like you kind of have worked out what's happening if you were playing it for the first time. You've worked out what's happening, and then it's a question of like trying to get to that point where like you get the game to tell you that.
Yeah.
Like who do you need to talk to next? Who do you need to show what to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where do I need to find a decisive piece of evidence?
But is he gonna confess that we're troubling you this last few days? I'm attracted to you. That and that is, I think that's the joke the Game Grumps did when they got to this case. It was pretty much this. A crime you committed in the memory of a murder. It was a Larry fanfic, yeah.
Wake up in a fearful sweat.
Can you actually get oxygen revived in a lift?
I don't know, but it was an earthquake. Maybe other things were falling out of the things and trapped in the fire. I don't think so. There should be like gaps for oxygen to come in.
Stop breathing my air. They can't help it, dude. Bang. You true. This is a dream. Oh, Edward thinks he shot his dad. Oh God, we've been insane for the last 2 years. Oh no. Maybe self-defense. Get revenge because he actually took your life. Dun, dun, dun.
See, this is what I mean when I feel like it's abuse, because I do believe, didn't he become guardian of Edgeworth?
Yeah, that's the thing I was trying to dance around whether they actually reveal this in here or the anime.
No, I think it's revealed here.
Okay. Because they just said his teacher, but it doesn't say, oh yeah, we also like took him home because he's an orphan. But yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, Miles goes to live with Confront Karma. And in the anime, they flesh that out a little bit more. Finally, he shows up in the office. Like, we were looking for you, you fool. What do you wonder? If that's the case, then why do you took so trouble? Oh. What if Edward's dream was the pistol save his father? Pistol fired, deed was done. But in the movie, they kind of expand on this a lot more. Like, you know, he gets like Yadi Yogi gets like people harassing him, bullying him for like being the murderer. It's like,
I find it very interesting that, like, when I'm going through all of this, and like some of this stuff is a plot that's been kind of teased out over several cases, not just one, right? So I'm just in awe of like how do you write like this overarching plot?
Yeah.
Right, and then also have all the other cases slowly like contributing pieces here and there. And I'm just like, how does it happen? I write books and I edit books and I'm still like in awe when it happens. Now I don't know how, because I'm writing crime fiction right now as well, and I'm just like, how the freaking heck does it happen? I don't know.
Yeah, I tried to write crime fiction fanfic, but my trouble is that I do not, even though I know what happens, I don't know how to reveal what happens in the story while still making it a story and not just, oh, here's a clue for you.
Yeah. Like that, I talk about that a lot in my writing life.
The spirit medium. Now we get to like Maya and Mia's mother, which is how the Fays are implicated in this whole DL6 thing and why the world is so small. The one who lied was Gregory. Oh, it's Gregory trying to protect his son.
Gregory Edgeworth's ghost. I think we must put a pin in this and come back to this thing about Gregory Edgeworth's ghost and Misty Faye at some point. Now, I haven't played fully all the way through this, but Tiara has. So I
All the way
don't
through
want
what?
this trilogy collection.
Right.
But you have. I have a feeling when we know who Tiara and I both played this case before, so we know who's responsible,
Yeah.
right? I have a feeling when we get time for the Fae stuff to be explained, and like again, I have no idea if it's fully explained at any point, right? And we find out what happened to the mother or anything. I don't know yet, but I have a feeling this thing about Gregory Edgeworth's ghost is going to come into play at that point. Because this is now raising a thing for me, but that I don't think it's going to be answered now. It's going to be answered when the phase come through.
What's the thing it's raising for you?
Why would Misty get it so wrong?
Well, I think that actually gets answered in this very conversation.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, yes, like, maybe it goes light to protect the sun. But I don't think, knowing what I know happens, I don't think that's quite Why did I come back here? I
don't know why you come back here.
Present to him. Sorry. Plain.
You're presenting stuff to him. Can you imagine this in real life? You just like, oh, all right, I'm going. You go to like the center, like it was like, what's up? Like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to come here. Go back to Grossberg. Like, oh, by the way. Damn it, the 6 will never. I'm just trying to catch up to like what Grossberg is saying.
Oh, sorry. Am I going too fast?
It's fine. Oh, we got one karma. Ooh. Michael Hammond, skilled defense attorney. Not for the sake of
clients, not for their sake, but for peace. Okay.
All Regret Reward is one of the most underrated tracks, in my opinion. Did a cover turn about Jazz Soul though? It gets explained in the last part of this case, says Rana. The thing you are wondering about with why did Misty get it so wrong? It gets explained in the last part of this case.
Okay.
Yeah. He trusted his own ability. Oh. Won that innocent verdict for no one but himself. Yeah, so she was in the movie. They expand on him being socially ruined, like this graffiti on the walls. Like he loses his job. They don't quite go into as much detail in the case, but in the movie they do. He recognizes handwriting. Who do you think? One karma. Ha! It is. It's Von Karma. Von Karma wrote the letter. one karma now. You want to frame your own son? You know, myself had actually killed his own father. Ooh. Dun, dun, dun. Still, he's not a perfectionist. He changes the rules so that he gets seen as perfect.
Yeah.
I will die on this hill. That and the hill of Larry deserve better. My two hills. To enter that one karma. There you go.
Okay, he got the guilty verdict. He wanted that trial, but Gregory to the accused one karma faulty evidence. I choose accusations to. Oh, is this what you meant, Rana? I did not remember this bit. Oh, sorry.
Yes, okay, so it's a penalty. Yep.
Oh, so he doesn't get a perfect record. Oh, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. Took a vacation for several months after. I wonder why. It was the last vacation. He's never been to Europe. How specifically Europe? The strange ideas of vacations.
What's strange for going to Europe for vacation?
Right? You want to keep a perfect record so badly. Then do your job! It's a vacation. Must have liked to protect him from beyond the grave. Aww. The police files. I think the chances of finding it is low.
Okay, now this is why we have to go to.
Yeah.
I feel like don't we run into one karma here? I believe we do.
Yeah, around here somewhere, around this part of the story. The record stream. Is there anyone wandering on that? No, no gumshoe privilege.
Ooh, one karma is there.
Dun, dun. And this is where he proceeds. Phoenix Wright proceeds to do something completely dumb.
He hands over the DL6.
In a manner of speaking.
Why would you do that, Phoenix? Why? Should we not have come here?
Well, you have to, but also you shouldn't have. He's not here.
Don't talk about him as if he...
Yeah, he might be around the corner. Someone must have...
Unsolved cases evidence. Ah!
There he is.
He looks so weird straight on.
Like straight on.
What is this? I wish to be a vampire gear. This is the other thing I don't understand.
He probably is a vampire. Oh god.
What is this? Like all Victorian? Okay, I understand people dressing up a little bit, right? And that it's like Japanese anime, manga, whatever. But like, why this outfit? People are not walking around into year 2000 in this unless they are history bounders. Are they also history bounders?
What's a history bounder?
You know where they walk around in historical costume of an era?
Oh, the reenactor people.
Not reenactor people, but like they wear it as their everyday wear. History bounding, like Disney bounding, but history.
I have never heard that term before. Like I'm aware vaguely of the concept, but it's more to do with like, yes, I'm 1950s.
Yeah, but they're not actually enacting a role or reenacting. It's just that they decided that's.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who would wear something like this all the time. I used to be best friends with someone who was kind of this vibe.
Does he not remember?
He probably doesn't care enough to remember you. I see. I remember this answer is bugs, needless things to be crushed.
Okay, you're a psychopath. Bye.
Yeah, that's not new. How
why are we talking to this man? Why are we talking to this man? I don't understand. Do we have to?
Well, because we got trapped in a conversation with this man. That's what happened.
I hope we don't have to show him evidence.
I am sorry to disappoint you. No, bro. See, Phoenix does not know how to hold his cards to his chest.
Yes, he cannot play them. Like, shut your mouth while you are running into.
He gets better much later in his life. But he got him in trouble with Red White. You know, he was like, I know you did it. And so Red was like, all right, you did it. The guy cannot be discreet. You must know what Malechwitz would tell the court tomorrow.
You could have asked him and you could have given him the idea if he hadn't thought about it beforehand. Phoenix.
Phoenix! Oh god, he's too earnest for his own good sometimes.
Not the smartest.
He's not very sly as a person. I think he grows into it later in like the games where he's set like 100 years into the future. But like now he's just like he does not know how to be sly.
I don't know, it has happened before, like, you know, people will give him.
Probably by accident.
Yeah. Like we tried on Gumshoe and Gumshoe says he's not going to give us anything, but he does.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I don't want to do this.
I'm sorry. I know. Any sane person would not do this, unfortunately.
These people have no
He does the
confronting him in every case in the first game from 2-4.
So, game 2, case 4.
Game 2, case 4.
Okay. So the next edition in the trilogy.
Yeah, he does what? Confronting thing?
Yeah, as in can't you hold your cards to your chest?
Oh no! Why is this man such a fool?
He's like, I am honest! Like, for fuck's sake. That's how you say it to me from a lot of needless hassle. You idiot. A taser! Maya gets tased. Like, does Front Karma not get any like consequence for this? Took the DL6.
Oh
Well,
my god! I
yeah.
can't. Yeah, hello. Excuse me. You are the one at the beginning of this thing today said that I am Edgewood, you are Phoenix. Okay, Phoenix, right? I can't be having with you.
Maya saves the day. Maya is dead. No. It's like, I went to see my sister. I haven't seen her in a long time. Oh, she tried. Oh no. No, Maya. Oof. He found something. A
Oh,
bullet.
bullet! The bullet?
Take it from the habit Gregory Edwards. Ballistic markings.
Oh my god, ballistic bloody markings.
Oh.
Ah!
See, this is why I thought you would be Edward. I'd be Phoenix because of the way you're complaining right now about what Phoenix is doing.
But
That
you're
would be
complaining
very
too.
much what Edwards would do if he was here. He'd be like, "What the fuck, dude?"
And he'd be right to say what the fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, hello, you complaining too?
Well, yes, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't do the same thing.
Oh my god, that actually like exhausts me.
Yeah, I know. You were like, I could hear the dread from all the way in my apartment. You're just like, no, 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 really, no.
Kilometers, miles apart, and I'm just like,
Kilometers, miles, what? Kilometers, Edgeworth, what?
no, 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 no. What the freaking heck are you talking about? Kilometers,
Did you just say kilometers, miles apart?
yeah.
Well, what's that in reference to?
I was not talking about miles. I was talking about kilometers and distance miles, right? Right. So we are kilometers and miles apart, but I could still, like, my heart's was like, no. When you said, "Oh, yeah, I can do this,"
Oh, I
would
can
do
feel
the
your
same
dread.
thing. Yeah, yeah. I would do the same thing. I was just like,
Kilometers, Edgeworth. This game is localized. I'm just running on this now.
So like usually every time we chat on the Saturday evenings, we post something funny to Twitter, and like I haven't been able to do that because I'm off Twitter at this point, not by choice.
Not by choice, yeah.
Not by
We need to
choice.
emphasize.
And yeah, I don't know why, but my account is suspended. Nobody's told me why. I can't get it back at this point, so we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, usually we tweet about it. And did you tweet anything today?
No,
Usually one of us does. We're talking
because
about
it was because you were like suspended, so I felt bad.
No, you can. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to feel bad. Why not?
Well, the funny thing about like kilometers Edgeworth,
Mm-hmm.
this is joking the Spider-Man fandom about Miles Morales and how like, oh, is there an A? Because how does like different alternate universes in Spider-Verse?
Mm-hmm.
And someone was on Tumblr was like, is there an AU in the Spider-Verse where it's kilometers at Morales rather than Miles Morales? And then like apparently in a very recent like Spider-Man comic, they make the same joke as a callback.
Yeah. Oh my god. So like are we going to trial or what?
I don't know. Should we go to trial? Because the trial's gonna be like long and dramatic.
That's up to you. Mm-mm.
You're gonna go all night. What? Let me just check my calendar.
We don't have to go all night. We can stop in the middle of the trial, don't we? Can't we stop
Can
it?
we stop in the middle of the trial?
Can we stop in the middle of the trial? I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Can we? I mean, there's turnabout samurai up here that's saying day three trial. Like what? Can we?
I don't think we can stop halfway. I think this is where all the stuff keeps happening.
Hmm.
Maybe we can save it for next week.
Okay, we can save it for next week. That's fine. We can work on instead what
Instead, what?
what we were talking about. So Rana, we were talking about fringe festivals, show ideas.
Do you want to like say that out in a stream before you even like
No, no,
announce
no.
it?
I'm not committing to anything. I'm not committing to anything. But I mean, like, okay, what do you want to talk about then?
I don't know. Where is our druid dude?
Our druid dude is not here today. Other foot.
That's at the foot.
Was was that the name? I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. I apologize unreservedly if I did. It's been a week and it's been a very weird,
Oh my god,
tough
it's been
week.
a week.
It has been a week. And we're not just talking about lockdown. No, no. It's been other
Yeah, the
things.
lockdown is like the easiest.
For us, we have sufficient privilege to
And
not
the sufficient
be.
lack of enough fucks.
Yeah,
Who cares?
yes, yes, plenty of that too. We have a significant amount of privilege at the moment that means that we are not at this point in time
Mm.
even mildly inconvenienced by the lockdown, though that may change in the coming days. Who knows?
Yeah, like
Um,
we have fresh air. We got food, we got money, we got a safe place to live.
yeah. So it is difficult
And
for
now that
us.
I moved into the city, it's also easier for me to get anywhere within a
Yes, that's
5K
true.
radius, which
Because
makes a
like
difference.
last year, this time Tiara was in a different place, and it was a little bit
Yeah,
awkward
it
at
was
the best
further
of
out,
times.
not so much in terms of like shop, but further out in terms of if I needed help.
Yeah,
Not many
whereas
people could really come and
yeah,
assist. Whereas here it's like in the city,
mm,
I'm more within reach of a lot more people that way. So if it's like, oh, something's gone really
mm,
bottoms up,
yep,
I'm not as stranded.
yep, definitely. So it's very um it's a very different, and by now I guess we're used to it, though like
Yeah.
judging from some of the journalists responses at the press conference, they were not. They were like, oh no, people will be upset. I was like, really, will Victorians be upset? I think they come to accept that this is sort
No,
of.
no, what I found is
Yeah.
a lot more people are upset actually. But so a friend on someone on TikTok like pointed out that whoever felt despair in 2020 is feeling fine in 2021, and the reverse is true. So what I'm seeing is a whole bunch
Mm,
of people that I know or know of who are like, yeah, we can do lockdown. It's so important for lockdown. We're gonna fight the virus, blah, whatever, in 2020, right? The
mm,
people who are giving me shit for not coping
mm,
or having like problems with the way lockdown was running in 2020, because I could go and rant about that.
mm.
These are the same people who are like this year, so, or even like the February ones, like, oh no, we can't handle it. Oh, how much? Oh, wow. And I'm just at this point like, oh my god. Now you guys are whining.
Mm.
Now, like I feel bad because I felt the despair. So I don't want to like mock anyone's despair. At the same time, it feels a bit like, how am I having the reverse story arc?
I think also because like they had a threshold of how much they could bear, and they've passed that now. So now it's difficult.
Yeah, whereas like I feel like I hit my threshold when it started,
But I
and it
think
kind of just came around.
yes, but I think it's easier for people to hit their thresholds if they're already um not on an equitable footing in the system when life is pre-COVID,
Yeah,
right? So if you're already struggling for various other reasons, then of course you're going to hit that threshold faster when something comes along like
yeah,
this, right? And then people have to, other people who haven't had to struggle before have to then go through something like this for sufficient longer time. They
yeah,
think they're fine, and then it hits them when you have to go into something again like this, like lockdown, and then they find that their threshold for it has been met, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what it is. So I'm not surprised by that.
Okay.
But I also
That's an
think,
interesting way to think about it.
yeah, so and I think like having gone through it, like now, this is not new to you. Whereas
Yeah.
for them, despairing about it is still new, right? So even though it's technically the
Yeah,
fourth
and I think
lockdown or
also
whatever,
part of it is like a lot of the people who are despairing now are a lot like, how can this happen again?
yeah. So
Whereas for me,
it
I'd
may be,
already expected it to keep happening. Like
yes, yeah,
when we had the big long lockdown last year,
yeah, yeah.
and people were like, oh yeah, it's going to be lifted soon, and it got extended by like another couple of weeks.
Hmm.
I already then was like, I don't trust it to reopen that quickly. Like I already was
Yeah,
like, this is not going to reopen this quickly. I
yeah.
am not
Then
going to hold out hope.
yeah,
And so it wasn't surprising to me necessarily when it happened again.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
annoyed because when it happened earlier this year, I was moving. I was like, couldn't they pick a
Yeah.
better time for me to do this? But like, like other than I was like, I never trusted it to never be a thing again.
Yeah.
Like I
But
expected at some point we'll have another lockdown. It'll keep
yeah,
happening. Whereas all the
yeah.
people who are like, oh no, but I thought we beat it. How come we haven't beat it yet? Like,
But no, but this is the other thing is like I guess you and I,
yeah,
so we are not people who grew up in as white or white passing, and we
yeah,
are therefore not um while I say we have privilege, we are not subject to a sense of safety in a lot of insecurity, and don't mean physical safety, but just like this just general sense of like everything's okay and people will be
yeah.
looking
We're
after
always will be like
you,
on edge.
the system will sort you out and you'll be
Yeah,
fine. So and we've also grown up in situations, because we didn't grow up in this country, we've grown up in situations where we've very clearly from a young age seen what happens and the
yeah,
consequences, and we can see the signs, and we kind of are, people say, oh, you're jaded or you're skeptical or whatever, but like, you don't really know any other way to think about these things, because this
yeah,
is what this is your reality, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
um and so you in these situations, you're like, I know how people operate, I know that there are some people who are great and some people who are not great, and then
yeah,
there's a lot of people who make bad choices as
yeah,
well, right? And you can't fault them for that. That doesn't mean they're nasty people necessarily, but they'll make bad choices, right, for whatever
yeah,
reason. And so things are going to happen. And so, yeah, you're not surprised that there's going to be several lockdowns. You're not surprised that this is going to keep happening. And so there's a lack of element of that surprise. And I think that also makes it harder when you first hits, because you're like, I know what this is going to be like. I know this is
yeah.
going to be
I could see how
continuous.
could go wrong so
Yes.
quickly, and
So I
people did
think,
not believe me for the
yeah.
longest time.
And I think that's also hard, right?
Yeah,
And then you get you it was new as well, right? It was a new thing to kind of go through a pandemic like this, right?
yeah.
Even though a lot of
In
people,
our like lifetime.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, in a way, but we also
yes,
had all the SARS outbreaks.
yeah, but like there was a lot of like other stuff around it, of like, okay, a lockdown, a curfew, those sorts of things are all
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
those are not new, right? But like the context was kind of
yeah.
new.
It was
So,
so big and so
or the
international.
reason for it rather, but
Yeah,
and I think now maybe also you're like, I've been through COVID. Like I know what this is about now, and I can, like, I'm not as freaked out by the novelty of it. And like, oh, can I get through this as much? You've been there, done that, bought the T-shirt kind of level.
yeah. And I think
Um,
for me, it wasn't
and
so
maybe that's
much
why you're being
the.
calmer now.
Well, I guess for me, it wasn't like the disease was, yeah, sure, consent, because
Mm.
who knows what's happening. But I was more concerned about all the police enforcement that went in.
Yes, that is also still. I mean, there's
Like
alien
one my
personnel
first.
in Melbourne right now, right? And I had to put the, so I do radio news bulletins
Yeah,
for a particular organization that translates them into different languages, and so I submit it on the Fridays and the Saturdays and Sundays. And on Friday, I had to put in the line about the Australian Defence Force, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
yeah,
I think,
because my
but I
yeah.
also thought about it, and I thought, like, look, I want to put it in, and the reason I wanted to put it in is because I want to warn people that the defense force is going to be around and they're there to do specific tasks. And so don't freak out if you see a soldier rock up to your door. Like I wanted to
Or
give them
do,
the
because why are they there?
no,
But
I wanted to give them the heads up because, like, yeah, the initial reaction for a lot of people would be like, "Oh my God, the cops are here! The army's here! What the hell?" and freak out. And people don't realize that.
well, the thing for me is that the virus was less of a concern to me than the police enforcement. Like my first major experience of the pandemic
Hmm,
was having to stop a US tour halfway because I needed to get home quickly,
hmm,
and immediately getting into a 2-week quarantine where I was not allowed to leave my front door except
hmm,
to get tested. And you were there, you saw like how
hmm,
much of a meltdown I had. And people didn't get it because they didn't have to deal like this. It's not a lockdown in the same way. I could not leave my front door. I could not go for a walk. I had no 5 kilometer limit. I just could not. If I was worried that a neighbor would think that a friend was dropping off food was lingering a little too long and report to
hmm.
me. And they was doing a culture of like report first, ask questions later. So it's
Yeah,
like, what
which
if
was
someone calls the cops on me?
which I think they've done away with now, thankfully. They
Yeah,
did
but it
the
took
last of it.
so long, and it took so
Yeah.
long. And that was the thing that bugged me the whole time,
Mm,
because whenever there was like, oh, fines are fine, we're gonna have $1,000 fines and blah blah blah. And all my friends were like, we don't see the problem because we need to stop the virus. And I lost so many people of it. I was like, your
yeah.
things, I had to bend the law to keep myself safe last year.
Mm,
And if I was afraid, like, it's like, oh, well, it was either like it was going to be life or death, and that's why I had to go somewhere else to stay alive. But it was technically breaking the law in that I wasn't like at my house. And I was like, the fact that this
yeah,
is
but it was for
criminalized is,
caregiving purposes. I think
yeah,
that
but
should
it
be
was
fine.
still like kind of a weird legal
It was it no,
territory where,
it was weird because it was done so haphazardly and so quickly. So there were, I mean, even now people are asking like, okay, in this lockdown, like, what are the nuances, like, and
yeah,
the
and they
people are,
still haven't figured it out.
yeah, they haven't figured it out. Like the people, and it's
Yeah.
only 7 days, and you're like, people are
Yeah, the
still
last time was
asking.
like
You
months.
should have seen the press conference. Like, so if people leave now and go to the
Oh yeah, I saw the
coast to
press
stay in their
conference.
holiday home, is that okay? And the guy's like, just please stay where you
Yeah, but because they never, it's the same questions, right? And
are.
like the questions never got answered. And I think people, the one thing that has made the big difference is that they allowed the single social bubble thing,
Yes.
but they introduced that way too late, so
Yeah, yeah,
late,
yeah.
so late.
Yeah.
And that what made the difference for me was like, okay, I've got allowed this one person,
Yeah, and
but like
healthcare system couldn't catch up as
they
well,
had
right?
like I got turned away because, oh, we're not taking admissions due to COVID. I'm like, oh, what am I supposed to do about it?
Mm,
Um, and they haven't fixed a lot of this. They haven't filled in all of those gaps. And
no.
so I guess for me, I'd gone through all of that, and I'm still frustrated on some level with the people who still don't quite get it.
Hmm.
But also
Yeah.
frustrated people like, oh, now you're whining when I was trying to get you to pay attention 1 year ago and you didn't take me seriously. Now you want to
Yeah.
complain about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's like, yeah, now you see why I don't trust this fucker. Like now you see why I was so like jaded
I
the whole
think it was
time.
a huge wake up call for a lot of people in a lot of ways, and I think that's always a good thing. I wish it didn't come at such high cost per se, but a lot of different ways. There were people who lost their jobs and had to go on job keeper or job seeker,
Yeah, yeah,
and then they realized what it was like to be thought of as a dull bludger and how
yeah,
difficult that was. And I think that was a wake up call for a lot of people. Right? It was a wake up call for a lot of people about like how badly government can manage just even the most basic things, right? And
yeah,
like it shouldn't be a surprise to us that the aged care system has issues. Aged care system has had issues for like God knows how long. It's been reported about for like the past decade or so,
yeah,
right? And yet nothing's been done, and the inaction on that came full front to the force. People are copying things left and right for that right now, and
yeah,
this should be, about time. And other things also flared up, so it was. And I think it was very interesting because for me, I've been through curfews and lockdowns before where you
hmm,
can't step outside the door.
yeah,
And so for me, it wasn't that difficult, but I have a partner who's never gone through such a thing. And so for him, it was very, very, very difficult. And
yeah,
it was very like climb the walls. And it brought home as well, like how important it is to have sets of friends, and to have people you can confide in and stuff. And I was like, oh, I have built this life for myself where I can stay inside a room, but I'm still having social connection. And I had a chat with someone on Twitter about this as well,
Yeah.
where I said, this is not necessarily our choice, but because we live in a different country to the one we grew up in,
Yeah.
we can't see our friends that we grew up with, and we are used to having to move away for uni or for work, and people moving away from us for uni or for work. So the people come in and out of your life, and they always are like, I have friends scattered around the globe, like really close friends, so I don't
Yeah.
get to see them. So we are
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
so used to now having social interaction online with each other. And if it hadn't happened that way, I don't know what we would have done in the, like, if we didn't have the internet, I wouldn't know what
Oh
we would have
yeah.
been doing to sort that out. And I would have been even more of a basket case, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, how is it? My partner's the one who has a normal 9 to 5 job and that normal kind of lifestyle that you expect of someone, but and goes outside the house and everything. But I am the most socially connected person. That is just the weirdest thing ever. And I have all sorts of connections. I have all sorts of groups that I will meet with, people for all different parts of interest. I've got union people. I've got you.
Hi.
Tiara as a category all of by themselves. I've got
Story of my
people.
life.
I've got people who are journalists. I've got people in publishing. I've got people in completely different industries. I've got like
Yeah.
a little subset on WhatsApp. I've got family friends. I've got people from one school, people from another
Oh
school,
yeah. Yeah.
some random people on Facebook who I don't even know. I'm like, why the hell are you here?
That always happens. Yeah, I feel like I am the same way, and I notice this especially in the arts because the arts industry
Mm,
collapsed, particularly in Victoria, because so much of it involved like live performance in some way, and then suddenly you weren't allowed to do that anymore.
mm,
Um, and it was sort of like weird to see like all of these people who used to like not take me seriously when I talk about making art, because I've always been online. I grew up on the internet, like
mm,
it's like early adopter. I've been most like you were,
mm,
like you most
mm.
familiar with online digital, and
Yeah.
it's always been a part of my life and part of my artistic work. And seeing all of these people who used to malign live streaming
Mm-hmm.
or digital, or I was like, oh, that's not real art. Suddenly have to navigate all of this all at once.
Mm.
And then also like the people who are like, oh, I've lost all of these opportunities for art, and the grants never had a lot of money. It was like, I lost even more money and I can't get a job. Now I'm like, welcome to my entire creative life where I could not get a bloody job
Yeah.
or
Now
a grant
yeah.
because of my
Imagine.
visa. And so
Yeah.
and so
Imagine being in a position since 2008 when you graduated uni.
that's what I did. Yeah, that literally what
Because
happened. And then
yeah.
my visas got in the way, which was like, it's like, oh, now all of this stuff that I'd been advocating to be fixed for ages because they were
Mm-hmm.
affecting me really badly. Now,
Yeah.
no one was taking it really seriously because it didn't affect them, and then now it
Mm,
affects them. And sometimes I feel like when I see my artist friends, like last year when they were like, oh, I don't know how I'll survive if I can't perform on stage. And part of me is like, yeah, I'm sympathetic to like you can't do what
mm,
your heart calls for, and that's hard. At the same time, I'm like, I do not know how much sympathetic I can be because you could learn this. You could have, I know pivot is a word you all hate, but
mm.
this could have been such an opportunity early on, and yet you're seeing it as though it's the death of the universe. Like
Or
at some point,
maybe you could have shut up and listened 10 years ago and helped do something about it. So
yeah,
maybe
or
this
like
would
see,
have not hit as hard.
right, or now, like I didn't get, like I whine about it sometimes, sure, but
Mm,
like I didn't have the choice to keep whining because I also was going to make art. There was like, this is my situation. I just have to adapt or not
mm,
do it. And so
yeah,
it's like now you adapt. You've spent so
yeah.
much time whining. You're like, I do not know who I am anymore. Like, well, tough luck. I don't think I ever got the chance to. So it's hard to feel
Know who
sympathetic
you
to
yeah,
you.
who are you where if who are you when you don't have to worry about a stable income? Like, you don't have to worry about where your income is coming from, and you get to do the art
Yeah,
you
who
want to
is
do.
that? I do not know what that is.
Yeah,
And so
true.
it's a bit like everyone's still like, oh my God, I don't know
Mm,
how I will go on. And I'm like, I've never had the opportunity to really enjoy that.
Yeah.
for very long,
And also
you
I
know?
think it was a bit of a wake up call because a lot of people when you try to tell them about this, they have this mentality that if you work hard enough, then you succeed. So if you're not making enough money, if you're struggling to do
Yeah.
your art, then maybe you're not just working hard enough at it. And I think it's a massive wake up call when they find
Yeah.
themselves in that situation and they go, "Oh, I always thought you were lazy. Oh, it's not about that. Oh, shit." Right? And I
Mm,
think they want to believe that because they don't want to think it's out of your control, that there are
yeah.
things that affect you, because that's scary, right? And yeah, it's a,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but that's the reality of the situation as well, because at any moment it could be you that suffers, right?
Or a whole planet.
Yeah, what? Yeah, and I had the same experience as well because have a lot. I'm a freelance journalist. I have a lot of people I know who are freelance writers. And a lot of them write about niche topics, which is fine and dandy most of the time, right?
Mm,
Um, and it's great if you can make a living from it, but I don't. I do whatever. I find it much more useful to be able to produce whatever people require when they
right.
require it. Um, and so uh, I had someone who was a travel writer. They could
Ooh.
never make up their mind. The grass was always greener. Like, oh, there was lockdown, so they were like, I just want to go for a walk. And then when they were lifted and we could meet, they were like, oh, I really just, I'm so used to it now. I just really want to stay in. And I'm like, dude, literally months ago, you were like, I want to get out and walk around my city. And like, and like, what the hell? And so I actually called them out on it. But one of the things they did say at one point, where they were like, "Oh, travel was one of the worst hit
Oh yeah,
industries,"
totally. Yeah.
and that you could see very quickly in news which sections got hit first, right? So, and travel and lifestyle were one of them. Luxury magazines, gone, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of places that would be accepting work dried up because people were also trying to figure out how can we write about travel in a way that makes people want to buy without depressing them, and all of that.
Or being
So
responsible about it.
yeah, and being responsible about it as well, that was the other thing. And not being ignorant to the fact that people, we don't know when people are going to be travel, and it can't just all be news about what the companies are trying to do in this situation. Like, you
Yeah.
have to write the pieces about, and most of the freelancers want to write the pieces about, oh, I went to this hotel and here's a review, and I went and had this experience in this country or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
I said, why don't you write about the hard news? Now move from features and write about hard news, about what people are trying to do to save their thing. Write about the people who are the small businesses running bed and breakfasts and what they're trying to do. Write about the fact that people are trying to encourage domestic travel where possible, right? And what that's maybe doing for a region. I gave him a lot of ideas, and he's like, no, that's not kind of the thing I want to write. I was like, it's still in the travel writing genre. You could do
Yeah.
so much. You could write about how did people travel in previous pandemics.
Yeah.
It there's all sorts of weird angles. I wanted someone to actually write about the fact that Islam says don't travel when there's a pandemic on. Like, I was like, write about weird shit like that that most people don't know about.
Right.
Like random things, advice from the ages about traveling during a pandemic. I would like, do a full list of them. It's like, why not? I would have read that. They didn't want to do it,
Right.
but they wanted to whinge about not being able to do it and I was like, my god, can I just give me your contacts, I'll pitch these ideas. Like, I felt a little bit like, I was like, okay. They're like, no, I don't and it was, can't remember what the response really was. I was like, okay, look, I don't want to suggest ideas to you that you're not keen on, because obviously you know way more about writing in this genre than I do, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there's something I'm missing out here about how, whether these are actual potential stories that will sell, or maybe there's an issue with structuring them. I don't know, whatever,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not going to continue offering suggestions,
Yeah.
right? But their answer was, the way they answered the whole thing of why they didn't want to do it was like, oh no, that's that's not my thing, and I would be like, so down, and
Yeah.
then it's not the thing I want to write. It's just like I don't think you have much of a choice, dude, if you still want to write in
Yeah.
travel at the moment. Pivot for now and pivot back. It's not a lifetime thing that we
Yeah.
pivot slightly. Other people were pivoting, like
Yeah. Yeah.
so. Why the
It is-
hell not? A lot of health writers definitely got to write about COVID.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, you're doing well out of this. Well done, you.
Right.
But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Like people suddenly realizing all of this stuff. And I wish it didn't come at this sort of cost.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit very difficult.
Very different. I
Mm.
might. I don't know if you want to end the live stream here or put a pause because I have an Uber delivery coming.
Ah, okay, right. Yes, I also have to go have dinner. Thank you for watching. Sorry for us having like such a weird end to this live
That's all right.
stream.
We'll finish
Um,
off the trial next week.
next
Will we
week,
be out of lockdown? Who knows?
who
But
knows? Pending, pending.
pending.
Yes, we'll have to
I've
see
got
what
some
happens.
dessert coming via Uber Eats.
Oh, okay. Dessert.
Gonna be
Ooh.
craving chocolate cake for some
Thanks,
reason.
Rana,
So
for handing out.
yes.
Oh, what? Helping a friend with twine. What's twine?
Oh, it's a way to make games. I'll explain to you later. It'll take like 100 years, but I need to pick up my Uber
Oh, okay,
order.
okay, okay. Yeah, go pick up your Uber
All
order.
right. They early bye bye from me. See ya.
Oh, see ya.
Burp.
Oh my god, I forgot. Like, oh my god. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. No. Ooh. Oh my god. No, I want to get out of this. So thanks for hanging out with me today. And I will see